Hey everybody, Phil from Two Forks. So, I've been gone for a little while. I've had a lot of life things to deal with, all good things for the most part. Had to pick my daughter up from Florida, graduated college, had to bring her home, then I had to take her down to Tennessee, drive back, blah, 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 stuff like that. And then I got COVID again. Yeah, so that laid me up for a while, and then I went to unload the dishwasher after getting over COVID and did one of those deals where all of a sudden it's just like, oh my gosh, you know, when your back just does something peculiar. And for 7 days I was basically like laying on the floor with my feet on the coffee table. So I don't know what happened, but it's better. So I'm back in the shop again, thank goodness. But getting older can be a drag. Anyway, so while I was down here in my shop recently, and as all three of you guys who watch my videos know, I got a new bandsaw, a nice one. I got a Raycon 14-inch, and you'll see it in a minute. But I wanted to try cutting this log that I've had down here in the shop for ages, and all I've ever really done is cut stuff, kindling with it basically. It's been just a stump to cut and chop. But it's cherry, and a buddy of mine had a cherry tree in his yard. He didn't want me to cut it, and I've made various things with it over the years. And I just want to see if there's anything useful inside of this seemingly not useful piece of wood. It does have these little knots on here, which I hope don't go all the way through, but we shall see. Anyway, I have this rig. It's basically just a bar clamp that's attached to a piece of wood, a couple pieces of wood, that's going to slide along the fence and hopefully keep this thing from rolling over, because that will be catastrophic and probably ruin the blade and do something harmful to me too. So I don't recommend you try this. I'm not going to say that this is a great idea. This is probably a terrible idea, but I'm going to try and do it as safely as I possibly can. But don't do this. This is not probably a good thing to do. But I'm a guy, so I got to do some dumb stuff, right? I've actually already tried it. I cut this flat spot on there. That was the scariest part of it, because that's, you know, without the flat spot it can roll, and that's when things are going to get ugly. And took a couple little snips off of here. So I don't know, you know, again, I see some of these knots, but there might be something in the core of this that's kind of cool. And I just want to try it. I want to have the ability to do it safely. I want to sort of iron out some of the bugs, because I do like cutting logs and seeing what's inside, and, you know, it's sort of archaeological, I guess. I don't know. So let's try it. Let's go over to the other side and hopefully not hurt ourselves, all right? See you there. All right. Here we are. With the new bandsaw. Can't really see anything but the side of it, but this is it. There's a review out there I did a review of this, if you'd like to watch it. It's somewhere on my channels. I don't know how to link anything. I don't know how to, I'm not a very good YouTuber or whatever, but it's out there if you want to learn about this Raycon and what I think of it, and I think it's great. So here's the rig. We got this log clamped in here, and it's just going to slide along the fence, I hope, and not roll. It doesn't seem inclined to do that. I really wouldn't do this if I thought it was going to get scary, because I don't want to ruin the saw. Make sure that the tension's on there, and let's give it a try. It's not light. Oh God, that can't be good. Alrighty. Thin slice, hopefully. Hey! Now here's one of the things about the saw that I mentioned, that it goes for a while after you turn it off. So sometimes you're kind of here, you got to hold on to your workpiece until the blade stops, which will be in about 10 more seconds. I apologize. This is where it'd be nice to step on the brake. And there we go. It worked. Not bad. That's a pretty nice little slice. Now I see this is what I'm worried about. I don't know how far in we're gonna have to go before those knots disappear. And if they don't, so what? But here's where we are. And that's how it's done. So I'm gonna take a couple more slices, and you guys don't have to watch me do all that, and then I'll get back to you, all right? When I get this sort of squared up, and maybe you'll miss something catastrophic. I hope not, but I'll be right back. Went and turned off the dust collector, and the thing's still going. Well, here we are. We're getting somewhere on this thing, and I'm starting to wonder if this doesn't have any really redeeming qualities. It may just be I don't know, maybe not worth the time. So after all these years of staring at this thing, wondering if it's beautiful on the inside, I think the answer is not really. I'll probably keep going with it and see. It's got some kind of interesting color maybe when I get onto the inside, but it for the most part just really isn't dazzling, is it? That's not the point. The point is this little rig works, so I'm happy with that, and it actually is pretty safe. I would devise something better than the one that I've got here. I saw this on the internet, and it seems like it works, but probably could be some room for improvement. But it really does the job. You just have to be super careful with it and kind of smart about it. And once you start getting sides that are flat and parallel to each other, as you slide it through, it becomes less likely to tip. But anyway, I don't know. I think maybe I'd rank this one as I don't know. I'll keep cutting at it, and we'll see if there's anything comes out of it, and then we'll see at the end. All right, we can't give up now. All right, well, I finished it up on the table saw, and I've made a really uninteresting block of wood. But I know how to do it now, and so I'm going to keep doing it. Now, hopefully I can get some pieces that are more interesting than this piece of cherry. I'm surprised, actually. I thought this was going to be a lot more interesting. I'll probably, this side actually has some, excuse me, has some pretty good color to it. I'll try cutting some slices out of that and see what happens. Maybe, you know, I'll make a box for somebody and they'll love it. Who knows? But anyway, point is it's always fun to try some new stuff. A little jig worked on the bandsaw. Be careful when you're cutting the ends of these things that are super old like this. All these things turn into bullets, so make sure you sort of stand to the side. And I don't recommend having this much blade sticking out. I would make my way up a little bit, but today's just the day that I'm being silly, I guess. I don't know. Also, when I wear ear protection almost all the time. I didn't when I was using the bandsaw. It's not all that loud, but when I'm doing something that's a little bit funky on the bandsaw, I like to be able to hear it in case I hear something going wrong. If it's starting to bind or something like that. If I have those headphones on, sometimes I can't really tell what's happening. So that's why I didn't. Anyway, I don't know if I'd say I hope you give this a try like I usually do, because it is a little bit sketchy, but if you figure it out and you're careful about it, you too can make yourself a really uninteresting block of wood. Nah, this will be cool. I'll turn this into something cool. But anyway, hope you enjoyed it. I'm glad to be back, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay peaceful, everybody.